Today on Season of War, Ryan's Gloomspite Gits assemble as a horde of massive Troggoths, while Jordan's Stormcast Eternals arrive to enact Sigmar's will. Trugg, the Troggoth king, leads his Trogg herd, a force that gains extra regeneration and resistance to enemy attacks. A Dankhold Trogg boss serves as Trugg's lieutenant, bearing crunchy shinies and the Lunestone Teeth. 18 Rockgut Troggoths fill out the bulk of the army, while 2 units of Fellwater Troggoths look to weaken their foe with their noxious bile. Across the battlefield, Ionis Cryptborn, Warden of the Lost Souls, leads a vanguard wing whose vanguard units are able to teleport around the battlefield. A Lord Imperatant joins him as a staunch defender, carrying the Quicksilver Draft, and prepares to guide the arrival of 2 reinforced units of Annihilators. Reinforced units of Vanguard Raptors and Prosecutors look to deliver swift justice, while 2 units of Liberators and a unit of Aetherwings provide battlefield support. These 2 forces will fight over the bountiful Equinox battle plan, which awards 5 points for 1 objective, 3 for controlling 2, and 2 points for having 1 of each color. The underdog can use the rejuvenating blooms of the region to heal units on a chosen objective. With both armies ready to clash, let's head to the battlefield, for this is the Season of War.
This video is brought to you by the support of our channel members and our FLGS partners, Warpfire Minis and Boutique Bastion. If you're in the US, check out Warpfire Minis for the best stock, deals, and service. In Canada, head to Boutique Bastion to buy, sell, or trade new and secondhand models. Today's battle showcases beautiful thematic dice from Baron of Dice. Grab your own or get a custom set made at baronofdice.com.
Hello and welcome to Season of War! Today we have some old school AOS armies out, Ryan, with the Stormcast Eternals, and you're playing the Gloomspite Gits.
Yes, indeed.
And to jump right into things, the battle tactics I have chosen today are scouting force. So the first step is having 3 units wholly outside of my territory. And then I also have Wrathful Cycles, so the first step of that is to control more objectives than you.
As for me, I've got Restless Energy, which means I just have to take an objective that you've controlled. And then I also went Scouting Force because almost my whole army has the infantry keyword.
And for deployment, we were both 2 drops here, but I won the roll-off and was able to deploy first, so I have choice of who goes first. And as always, I'm going to give away first turn, so we can jump into Gloomspite Gits turn 1.
All right, I am so shocked by your decision. Going into my hero phase. Oh, I gotta roll for the lodestone. And because I'm in Trogg's Troll Herd, everything's benefiting from his aura because it's infinite range, so we're all -1 to hit and shooting.
And I will spend a command point here for magical intervention with Ionis. He's going to chant just for the prayer points, and he rolls a 2. It's going to be -1, so he just gets 1.
All right, going into my movement phase. All right, so I had a pretty boring turn. For those who are familiar with Trogg's Troll Herd, they power up on battle round 2 and 3. So going and running into you on battle round 1 just doesn't make a ton of sense. But I did edge forward with my 1 unit to take that center objective, just to score the points. That was my turn, but I did kind of hold 3 objectives, 1 of each color. So.
Yeah, and remaining hunter down, you store 10 on primary, and that'll send us into Stormcast Eternals, turn 1. All right, into my turn, Ionis is going to just chant for Sacred Rites to get some ritual points. He'll get 3, be up to 4. And then he'll chant for Blessed Weapons onto the Prosecutors, which actually fails on a 1, and I will lose 2 ritual points. And that's it for my hero phase, so we'll jump into movement. All right, that's all my movement.
Okay, I'll go for a redeploy. For a 2.
And because you redeployed, I can't shoot at those fell waters anymore, but they're off the objective at least. So then shooting with my launch strikes, I'll just have 2 dice in range of your other unit of fell waters, and I might as well spend the CP for all-out attack.
Okay, so that offsets my -1 to hit, but I will still all-out defense because I don't see much else happening in this battle round to spend CP on.
So we'll be on 3s and 3s. That's gonna be 3 at run 2.
6s, save 2.
So just 2 damage. And that is going to be it for my turn. It's pretty uneventful still, though we did do some shooting. 2 damage that's turned to heal back isn't very effective.
We spent some CP, it was exciting.
Yeah, but notably you did, because you redeployed to keep those guys safe, you gave up the objective, which allows me to take it and store 10 points on primary as well. And then I do complete the first step of Wrathful Cycles for holding more objectives than you. So that'll be 15 points, putting me ahead 5, and sending us into priority for round 2.
All right. I roll a 3.
That's a 2.
I think I'm gonna give you the turn because I think this is a nice time for you to have the double.
Yeah, I didn't really want to go in on my last turn, and it's probably to be similar here, but we'll jump into a Stormcast Eternals, turn 2. All right, so we'll start off with some Sacred Rites with Ionis, and I will generate 2 points, going back up to 4. And then Ionis will just chant for Blessed Weapons onto my Prosecutors. We did a 3 this time, but we're going to bank the points, putting us up to 7. And that'll be my hero phase, so into movement. And I'll start by seeing if my launch strikes can teleport. They do. And then we're going to deep strike our first unit of Annihilators. And when they land, I'll do 2 up D3 Mortals to your 2 units of Fell Waters and 1 Rot Gut. So the front unit of Fell Waters first will suffer 2 Mortals.
Okay.
The 6 pink Rot Guts will suffer 3.
5 upwards, save 1.
And then the other Fell Waters will take 3. And then we're going to send the other Annihilators into the corner. And then I'm going to use the Lord Imperitance Guided by Lightning ability to give my deep striking units a D3-inch move. So the unit that just came down will get 1 inch, and the unit that came down first will get 3. Wish that was in reverse. And then the second unit that came down will get to do their mortals just on the Fell Waters for 3. And then into shooting, we've got the launch strikes. I am going to target your 2 units of Fell Waters, or your unit of 2 Fell Waters, because that's all I can see. I do get +1 to hit from the Aether Ring, so that'll counteract the -1. Okay. I'll be back to 3s and 3s. For 12 damage. And that's going to wrap up Stormcast turn 2. Killing the Trolls and shooting the Fell Waters is nice to remove a unit. It would have been perfect to leave them with 1 or 2 guys and make that charge, but it was already an 8. And I might as well leverage the shooting. Those guys are still a threat to that objective, so you can't really ignore them. So we are putting a bit more pressure on now. I originally thought about keeping these guys off in reserves in Deep Strike, holding them back, but just the threat of the double meant I wanted to get a unit out there so that you don't hit my Liberator screen, kill them, win the double, and get into me. That would be quite painful. So we're trying to be a little bit more defensive, threaten a bunch of objectives, and we still have a bunch of teleport opportunities, 3 different teleports in this army that I could potentially make use of to threaten back objectives. So we're doing our best here. We will score 10 points on primary again, but no battle tactics, so just those points. And Ryan, we can jump into a Trod Herd turn 2.
All right, the Rock Guts are going to heal. They heal for 1, and then the Fell Waters are going to heal, and they heal for 3, so they're back to full. And then we'll do the Malfunctioning Laystone, see how it does. 4, 5, and 2. For the Malfunctioning Waystone, I'm going to go with the aura of +1 attack to all the Trogs.
And then I will spend a command point with Ionis for a magical intervention, and he's going to chant for translocation onto the Liberators. We'll get that with a 5, that's going to be a 12, which does make them -1 to hit as well.
All right, going into the movement phase.
All right, I will spend a command point here to redeploy with my Annihilators in the center for 1.
Shooting phase. So we'll start with this unit of Rock Guts Annihilators on 5s for 1 damage. The Rock Guts over here, 2 Rock Guts shooting, both hit. 2s, both missed. Are you freaking kidding me?
I will spend a command point here for a covering fire with my Raptors shooting at your Rock Guts.
Okay.
And because the Aether Wings are there, I'll counteract the -1 to hit. So I'll be on 3s and 3s. So 12 damage.
5 up wards. So you finish a guy and then one guy's taking 4. All right, we're going to charge with Trug. Is good. And then finally the long charge for the unit of Trugs that just deep struck, which they fail, but I will CP that because this game gets exciting if they make it. And they fail again. Bummer. Okay, so we'll start to see if I get the aura +1 attack from the Trog boss on a 4. I do. And then we have a rampage to pick a unit, and if I roll over your health characteristic, you just die with Trug. With a 2, that probably doesn't do it. And I guess we will go first with Trug. And he'll go into your Annihilators and go with an all-out attack.
And I'll go for the all-out defense here.
6 attacks on 2s. 4 damage so far. And then 4 attacks, these are on 3s. For an additional, so 9 damage.
So that will kill 4.
After Trug smashes the Annihilators, the survivors deal 6 damage to the Dankhold Trog boss, who fails to deal any damage. Then the Rock Guts take down the Aether Wings and a Liberator, and suffer just 1 wound in return.
And that'll be my turn. That didn't really go as planned. I mean, obviously Trug did some good damage, but I really wanted to wipe out the Annihilators. The fact that they're still alive is a big problem for me if I get the double.
Yeah, I'm similarly or oppositely very happy you didn't wipe out that unit, but yeah, I guess then scoring-wise, I did steal 1 of your points with the translocation, but you will still hold 1 and 2.
Yep.
So 8 points for your turn, puts you up to 18.
And I do get a battle tactic because I took an objective that you control for Restless Energy. So I will score 5 there.
Yeah, just a 2-point difference because I stole that objective, so then priority for round 3.
Not 1.
2, and I would have actually loved you to win priority there and have to make the choice. But since I won it, I might as well take it here, and we can jump into a Stormcast Eternals turn 3.
So we'll go for a heal on Rock Guts. They heal 3. And then we'll go for the heal on my Trog boss. He heals 3.
All right, we will try with Ionis to go for a Sacred Rites just to bank the points. We're going to get a 2. And then we're also going to chant for Blessed Weapons onto the Prosecutors.
I'm afraid of this.
We get it on a 4, so that'll go off, and we'll give them +1 attack. And then I'm also going to use Finest Hour on the Prosecutors to give them +1 to wound and +1 save this turn. All right, then let's jump into movement. And that's going to be my movement phase.
Yeah, I'm going to redeploy on these Trogs just to get them closer to the action for my turn. For a 1. Great.
All right, into shooting. We're going to start off with the Prosecutors. They're going to throw their javelins at Trug. D3 damage each for just 2. And then we'll go with the Launch Strikes shooting at Trug as well. And I will spend the CP for all-out attack here.
I'll go for the all-out defense.
So we'll be on 2s and 3s. So 12 damage.
Oh, he's got 2 wounds left.
And then we're going to put Ionis' Dragon's Flames into Trug as well. That's going to be just 2 at Ren 2.
6s? Nope. He's just dead.
We just get him. So into charges. Let's go with the Prosecutors first on the 3d6 for a 5. And I'm actually going to spend a command point there to re-roll that, unfortunately. For a 10. Much better. And after the Annihilators charge, they're going to roll 6 dice and hope to make you strike last. They need a 6 here. They get 1.
Okay.
So those rockets are fighting last.
I will go for a counter charge with the Fell Waters to try and help their leader. Yep. And then into combat, I guess I will see if I get my aura from the Trog boss. I do. And he is going to activate his once per game fight twice.
And then my Lord Imperator is going to drink his Quicksilver Draft to give himself strike first once. And he's going to activate into your Trog boss. All right, so 4 attacks. So 2 damage there. And then we'll go with Ionis next and put all his attacks into your Trog boss as well.
I'll go for the alt defense here and squeeze my buttocks. Hope for the best.
So Soulbreaker. So 2 damage there. And then the Dragon's Claws for 6 more damage.
He's alive with 1 wound.
The Trog boss then takes out the Annihilators, and the Fellwater Trogs eventually deal 2 damage to Ionis and 1 to the Imperator. Attacking the Rock Guts, the Annihilators, Prosecutors, and Liberators combine to deal 21 damage, and the lone Troggoth can do nothing in return. Lastly, the Trog boss gets the chance to fight again.
Trog boss, it's your moment, my friend. You can put everything into the dragon on 4s. D6 damage for 2. Ah, it's so frustrating.
Ionis is up to 4.
I do heal for D3 for a 2.
And then I will spend my last command point here with Ionis to power through. He's going to do the mortals to your Trog boss for 3. So he lives with 1. All right, so that's going to be it for Stormcast turn 3. It was a bit of a calculated risk to take the turn, but I think we had a solid output here, obviously. I would have liked to take down the Trog boss as well, but you can't have it all. But here I was banking on being able to do enough. I do not take the center objective after you charged onto it, and I obviously skittered away here. So it will, on primary, just be 8 points for holding 1 and 2. But here, taking the turn, let me obviously hit first and do the damage. Though it's always annoying leaving trolls limping with 1 or 2 wounds, as we've seen. The rock gut's now back to full health. Your Trog boss is just barely clinging to life.
1 rock gut is back to full health.
Yeah,
5 of them are dead.
Yeah, it's not enough. But that'll be it for my turn again, and we can jump into Gloomspite Gitz turn 3.
All right, start of my turn. I healed D6 on the Trog boss for 2. Yeah, that'll be my hero phase. Going into the shooting phase. Well, we'll start by spitting on your hero because that is shooting combat with my Fell Waters. They get D3 shots each. 6.
They all go through. You're gonna take them out.
All right. Okay, I'll charge with the big unit of rock guts. They fail. Trog boss, he makes it with a big 12. I'll go first with the Trog boss to try and heal before you snap him to death. Actually, first we'll see if the Trog boss is aura works. It fails this turn. All right, everything's into your prosecutors. On 4s.
Both go through.
2d6 for 3. Come on.
You will kill 1. And then I'm going to have the Annihilators go into your last rock gut. 6 damage.
On 5s, save 1 and he dies.
And then the Prosecutors are going to fight back at your Trog boss. They do have a +1 attached still. 3s and 3s. That'll be 5 at round 1.
On 4s, save 3 and he takes 2. All right, so that's my turn. It didn't go great, so you ended up doing more damage than me. Score max on primary, no secondaries. Puts us into a really spicy
Yep,
roll.
and we are tied now going into round 4, Prio. That's a 5. Yours is cocked.
No.
So I have choice. We'll keep the turn order the same and jump into Stormcast turn 4.
All right, Trog boss heals for D6 for 4. Trying his best to stay alive.
Yeah. All right, into my hero phase. Ionis is going to just chant for Sacred Rites to start. He'll get 3 points to bank, and then immediately chant for Translocation onto the Prosecutors. He gets that off with a 2 for 5 total, and he's going to teleport them. And then I will go for Finest Hour with the Annihilators, giving them +1 wound and save. And that's it for my hero phase.
I'll go for a rally with the Trog Boss. Oh, 4 wounds.
All right, then into movement. All right, then into shooting. We're gonna start with the launch strikes, putting all their shots into your Trog Boss. And we will go for the all-out attack for 16 damage.
He's dead.
And then Ionis is going to put his shots into your Rot Guts. So 2 damage, and I will now make them soul burned, so they'll suffer D3 mortals every shooting phase. I'll start off here for 2.
Save 1.
And that's it for my shooting.
I'll go for covering fire because why not? And I'm going to spit at your hero. So 3d3 attacks for 7.
2 go through.
And notably, he now can't be buffed his defense, and he's at -1 save for the rest of the turn.
All right, into charges. We'll start with the 3d6 with the prosecutors. That's gonna be a 12. And after the charges, the Annihilators are going to try and give the Rot Guts strike last. They need 1 of these dice to show a 6. We do not.
Ooh, that could be meaningful.
And then into combat, we are going to go first with the Prosecutors. I'm going to spend a command point for all-out attack, putting all the attacks into the Rot Guts.
They will all defense because they need to survive or I'm in trouble.
So 2s and 3s. So 6 damage.
Onto my 5-up ward, which I save another 4 of. You do 2 damage.
We do kill 1 though.
The Rockets then bring down 3 Annihilators, while the remaining Stormcast units only take out a couple of Trogs.
All right, that is going to be it for Stormcast turn 4, and here we're scoring 10 points on primary because we do take the center objective, which is obviously good, but I realized I made a silly mistake with my battle tactic of Scouting Force. I forgot that having Deep Struck my Annihilators don't count towards that, so I'm not going to be scoring Scouting Force here. We're still super close in this game, and the center objective is definitely being hard fought for, and while I take it for now, we're going to be jumping into a Gloomspite Gitz turn 4.
All right. Well, let's start with healing some Rot Guts. They heal 3. And let's heal some Fell Waters. They only heal 1. And that's the end of my hero phase. Into movement phase. Okay, shooting phase. I'm going to spit on your hero and hope for a miracle. 2d3 attacks, 4 attacks on 2s. 1 damage, but notably that's enough to get him drenched in vomit.
All right, I will spend a command point here for a covering fire with my Raptors. They have to shoot at your Fell Waters. And that'll be 16 damage.
Into the charge phase. I'll charge with the pink unit of Rot Guts. They make it with a 7. Charging with the second unit. Miracles! Nope.
As the battle is fiercely fought, the Rockets take out just 2 Annihilators, while 3 of the Trogs go down.
Okay, that's the end of my turn. It didn't go great. I'm not out of it yet, but I'm in a tough spot now, I think.
Yeah, well, it is going to be just 8 points because I'll hold on to the center. So I will head into round 5 prio ahead 2 points. And I do win prio though. And I'll obviously take the turn here, just push everything in the center would be the plan. So in the end, I'll be able to clear off the center objective, hold on to that, get 10 points on primary, and then with the teleport of the Raptors, the first step of Scouting Force, which was harder than I expected here, but that'll be a 15-point turn for me, which will put me up to 58 points. And then Ryan, you would have 3 Trogs on your turn, and obviously no real hope of taking the center.
Yeah, so I mean, there's nothing I can do. Unfortunately, things went rough in the mid game, and I just couldn't claw it back.
Yeah, and then in your turn, Ryan, you would hold 2 objectives still for 8 points, putting you up to 49. So only a 9-point game in the end, which is in AOS super close.
Yeah, it makes me wonder like how different this would have been if I'd rolled a little higher on some of those D6 damages from that hero. Because there was twice, I think I had 2d6 damage and did 3.
Yeah, and we really saw the resiliency with him of the healing of the Trogs. Obviously your rot cuts and everything were healing throughout, but I probably did over double his health worth of damage to him throughout the game.
Yeah, so like, I think in retrospect, like obviously Trogs got to glow up with the battle scroll because almost every unit got cheaper, I think, if not every unit. But it essentially means this build gets a whole extra unit of Trogs that it wouldn't have otherwise had. So I think that's a big thing. I think Trog herd, it's almost not worth it. Just do the normal Trog herd or whatever the one built in, because then you get the back access to the
moon
piece.
And returning stuff is the big thing.
Yeah, access to better artifacts. If I want, I can bring in a hero or something that can cast.
Or some cheap screens even.
Yeah. I'm giving up a lot to make the Laystone cover the whole battlefield, and that's a really powerful ability, but Trug is just not tanky enough. He heals a ton, so if an army can't kill him in one, he's like unstoppable. But in a force like this where you have some artillery level shooting, they just pick him up in one round, and then it's like, oh, I might as well have not had the Trog herd ability. So I'm not super negative on them. I think they're fine. I think you're always going to be running into this. Your whole army hits on 4s, so sometimes it just works, sometimes it just doesn't.
And not that I had much -1 to hit here, but even just the 4s in general is always rough for destruction.
Yeah, so it's tough, but I still think it's a solid army. I don't think they're the mighty thing that they once were in past editions, but they're totally playable and they're better than my spiders, so there's that.
Yeah, and for Stormcast it was fun to get some of the units I haven't used in a while. Obviously Liberators are a little bit cheaper, so here I don't have like 90 of them, but you could run that, and it's egregious. But
get to painting.
Yeah, even the Liberators though are a solid unit doing decent damage for their points and wounds and save. The Annihilators, being a good anvil, held up and did their thing, allowed me to leverage my other units that provide more damage kind of as I needed to. And
sheer damage from the Vanguard Raptors remains just terrifying.
Yeah, for sure.
I think they did half the damage of your whole army or something like that.
Here, this was a bit, a mission that had a lot of obscuring terrain, but without, being able to put it obscuring on the center, you got to be in the middle on this one to really be winning the game.
There's always something you can shoot because they can teleport. You can't hide from them. That's the challenge. Yes, I can prevent you from shooting one unit or another unit, and you're like, okay, I'll shoot that unit.
And in the end, the Stormcast will squeak out the win and just do what they need to. But Ryan will call things there. Guys, hope you enjoyed this battle report. And don't forget, if you want more, you can help support the channel by joining our channel membership here on YouTube and get an extra battle report every week. But no matter what, we want to say a big thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.